today. Imagine you wake up and all your stuff is in litigation. The government's trying to take it, and it's their judge deciding, and he benefits personally from taking your stuff. What kind of chance you think you got of keeping your stuff? Good morning. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show. Got a real interesting show. We're going to tell you what can happen to everything you got. You wake up one morning and your stuff's on the chopping block. The government wants it, and the government judge gets part of your stuff if he decides it's gone. Welcome, welcome. Good morning from Texas. Hello, Texas. We're talking about the government taking your stuff with a government judge, what you can do about it. The real truth, unbridled news. Stay tuned. We'll tell you what you need to do, because the government wants what's yours and they don't want to work for it. They're going to adjudicate it and take it. We're talking about forfeiture, seizure laws with their judge deciding. Wow. And we're going to talk about what you need to do about it this morning. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. They take your stuff. They'll steal it with their judge. AI don't want me saying that, but I just said it. Damn it. So let's just tell the truth about it. It's kind of scary, pretty scary. Everything you got, you think it's yours. You think if you mind your own business, everything will be okay. I'm here to tell you, no, it won't. But we have hope. I'm here to tell you what we can do about it. Come on in, the Charles Van Morgan Show. Welcome, welcome. That's why I put nothing in your name. Hey, that can help. But they can put it in somebody else's name and they'll steal it in their name. So that's a great idea, though. Welcome, welcome, Charles Van Morgan Show. We're on our way to our signature place, and you know where that's at if you follow me. Welcome, welcome. This is the Charles Van Morgan Show. Let's turn on this little light here and get the show on the road. This great American flag gives us the right to vote to turn things around. But so you're walking about your daily life, minding your own damn business. You leave the government alone, pay your taxes. You assume, some of you do, some of you don't. You know the business that everything's going to be all right. And next thing you know, you get these little pink pieces of paper from a government officer, a police officer, that says that your stuff is taken. It's already gone, taken in their hands. You need to move out of your house, hand them the keys. It belongs to them. And your car, and even in another method, your job. They take your job because they have authority over licensing boards, and they say it's theirs before a hearing, trial, or anything. And you have to follow these strict procedures in order to get what's rightfully yours back, because it's already gone. And you were just minding your own damn business. You didn't do a damn thing wrong. Noisy cars, he's got to let us know we're here. Look at that. I got to punch on the gas, let them know we're here. And they're noisy cars. How about say something intelligent where people will listen to you voluntarily rather than being a dumb noisemaker like people in government power. So if you believe, and I'm going to educate you a little bit. Most of you are already educated, but I'm just going to tell you what you all already know. This is Unbridled News, the Charles Van Morgan Show. And we're going to tell you the truth, what people in government power know. That's why they get in government power, because a lot of them want free stuff. They want your stuff. So they get in government power to get it, because it's their judge. And if you believe that you can just live out your daily life and you got to create controversy, you ain't got to get a YouTube channel, you ain't got to listen to a YouTube channel, Charles Van Morgan, you got to do all that. You'll just leave the government alone, and the government will leave you alone. You can work hard and build up stuff for you and your family and live prosperously in the United States of America, and everything will be fine. You leave them alone, pay your taxes, and they will leave you alone. That's the great myth. And if you type that in AI, artificial intelligence will tell you that, because that's what they tell artificial intelligence. Everything's fine. Leave them alone. Pay your taxes. and they'll adjudicate, make things safe for you, and you can accumulate your goods and work in the way it should be. But let me tell you, the unbridled news is the real truth, and a lot of y'all know this. That's not the way it is. The way it is you're out working hard, earning a living, buying food for you and your family, and then the government, for no reason at all, comes up with a fake, false reason and comes to your house and gives you a pink piece of paper and says, as of my signature and date on this, me handing this to you, without further, this is my house, this is my car, and the money you got is mine, belongs to the government. Now, it goes in a government bucket, but eventually it comes to me, because forfeiture seizure laws go into the hands of the people that seize it. Eventually, it's just a little convoluted, so you can't see the line. It's not a direct line, but it gets to them, the one handing you the damn pink piece of paper. You say, but I haven't done anything, and shouldn't it be mine until I go to court? Hell no. Hell no, it's theirs at that time immediately. You don't get to pass go, you don't get to collect $200. You go directly to jail, and all your stuff is taken. And even your jobs, people that have licenses have to go before government licensing boards. You're not going to get your job if they adjudicate, their judge adjudicates their son, their boy, their family member, or people in their constituents, their voters want your job. They'll minimize the level of the jobs so that they can appoint people that they want in power. So everything you've got, your existence on the planet of Earth, is subject to approval of a government official, a government judge, that benefits from taking your stuff. The very judge that adjudicates your stuff gone gets part of it. Now, artificial intelligence, Google, the news, they won't tell you that. You have to kind of read between the lines, and y'all know what I'm talking about, a lot of y'all. You have to read between the lines, read the law, and then you look at what actually happens in reality, where the rubber meets the road. Now, they'll tell you a lot of stuff and say that it is meant them taking property to reduce crime and fluff it up. They got lawyers, liars that tell you all kinds of great, wonderful stuff while they deserve everything that's yours. But it's all a lie. It's a big fat lie with a lot of money, a lot of property, a lot of jobs that goes right in their control and their billfold. That's the truth. And I would be in complete total despair. Like and share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll tell you what we need to do about it. Not violence. That's the way they are. I mean, you get out of your house, they got that pink piece of paper, it's legal, or they got a gun, they'll get you out. And they won't even physically do it. I mean, if you think you're going to fight the government, good luck with that with violence. You're not going to. They're going to win every damn time. They got robots. They'll send a robot into your house to kill you if you don't surrender immediately, if not sooner. So they're not afraid of anything. They got, and you paid for the robot that they're going to send in to kill you. So I'm just telling you, and quite frankly, don't resist the government with violence. And I'm going to tell you how to lawfully, legally, legitimately resist and win. So stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe. This is unbridled news, unheard of, raw, unfiltered, unbridled, sheer truth that will protect you. Now, it is hard information to take, and most of you know it. You know, people repeat it to me. The rich get richer and the poor get prison. Is that a novel ideal? No, it's not novel. It's real. It's the truth. It's as a popular U.S. representative say, that's the doggone truth. Yeah, and he's a representative, so maybe he benefits. I don't know. That's the doggone truth. But they won't say it that way. And my channel doesn't get taken off the air yet. Remember the brand name Charles Van Morgan. If I do get taken off the air, my channel gets demonetized. I do all this for free, even though I'm monetized. They won't monetize some of my correct, lawful, truthful, nonviolent information, because they don't like me talking about the government bad, because they are the government. YouTube's part of the government. They back up the government. AI's part of the government. They back up the government. They tell you lies. They tell you the propaganda they want to hear. I'm telling you the truth. The government, people in government power, can take everything you have prior to any due process, and the due process that you eventually get, if you don't miss any, doesn't cross every I and dot every T, that they've got rigged up so you'll mess up. And I'll show you a case where somebody did. They take your property based on a procedure rather than the merits of the case. Meaning, even if they shouldn't have took it, you messed up. And they just come to your house and give you the paper. So they ain't got to do a hell of a lot, and you got to jump through all kinds of hoops and get one of their attorneys that's approved by one of their boards to help you through their program that they set up to take your money. And wow, that's a pretty good job, isn't it? Yeah, I wish I had that one, right? No, I don't. I wouldn't be that dishonest. So we're going to tell you what you can do to protect yourself against government overreach. Forfeiture seizure laws is what they are, and people claim, I've talked about this before, and people claim that it's gotten better. It's not that way. They've changed the laws and made it better. No, they haven't. They have given the perception by public pressure, because it's so horrific, that you can wake up one morning and your $500,000 house belongs to Joe so-and-so that's in the government, and he gets a promotion or award for it. And I'll show you the promotions and awards for law enforcement officers that take people's property, take their houses. They get awards and promotions for taking your stuff. And I'll show you black and white. I come with receipts. AI and Google and the mainstream media liars give you the government propaganda. Sounds real pretty, but it's a dirty lie. I'll show you written down in black and white what really happens, where the rubber meets the road. So if you want the truth, and I'm not putting you in despair, we have hope, we can pray, and we can legally, legitimately, peacefully fight, and I'll tell you how to do that. So if you want the real truth, YouTube won't pay me for a lot of this because it's too much of the truth for them. Too hot of a truthful topic, protecting the public. I got to protect the courts. If I protect the courts, corporations, then oh man, I'll make megabucks. But I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to protect society. And I got recepts for that. I've done it before. I'm doing it some more. And evidently, speaking truthfully, unbridled, protecting the mass population, that includes you, is a popular thing to do, because we've had, coming up close here in a few short months, we'll have 3 million people listening to this channel, because it's the truth. Nobody else says this kind of stuff. They dance around it, but they're afraid to touch it. I'm telling you, the government, with one of their judges appointed, can steal your property. Hey, don't say that, don't say that. Google, don't say that. They can steal your property. It's legalized theft. Steal your property without any due process. And the very judge that adjudicates against you benefits off taking your stuff. What kind of fair trial you think you're going to get with that? Not a very good one, unless they're a very honest judge, and I hate to say it, there's not very many honest judges, not very many at all. I mean, it's human nature. You can get something, you can get a free ride, you take it. It's legal. They made the laws. But there are a few honest judges, not very many, but for the most part, they're crooked as hell, and they benefit from adjudicating in the government's favor, taking your stuff. They've literally got Knox County ordinances, and it's like that all over the state, that make it lawful for them to take your stuff illegitimately, preponderant to the evidence, not a high bar, flip a coin and it's theirs, and they're biased judges. If they can't get a judge that will adjudicate in their favor, they'll reassign and get another one. that they know is bought and paid for. I've seen it happen in reality. Now, they don't want me to say that because we're supposed to bow down and worship the government according to them. Now, they don't say that, but they do it in a roundabout way because of the threats, intimidation, and the violence that goes on if you don't obey them, and their fake, illegitimate, nasty, dirty rules that makes them rich and their family. They got a lot of family, don't even have to work, because they make so much of your money, you work for them and their family. And that's not just a blanket, blatant statement. I have research. I'll tell you what happens, how people in government have their family that don't work, but they take your money and your jobs and give it to their kids that don't do anything. That literally happens. We need to put a stop to that. And we can. Trust me, we can. The first mission of any great endeavor is to understand and comprehend the magnitude of the serious problem. We're literally in a propaganda war against our own damn government here literally in the state of Tennessee. If you don't believe that, and you think you can go live your life, pay your taxes, and everything will be fine, when you're waking up on the street with all your stuff gone, or in a hotel room if you got some pennies to pay for it after they've taken every damn thing you got, then you remember what I'm telling you. But then it's too late, because you're playing the catch-up game, and that is trying to get it back after they've unlawfully taken it, because it's legal for them to take it upon them saying that they have a reason, made up or not, before it's even adjudicated. And then when it's adjudicated by one of their damn dirty judges. And that happens a lot. And even your career, we're even talking about jobs, licensing boards. They decide, members of professions decide who gets to get in the profession. I mean, if you think about it, just good old God-given common sense that they don't want you to have. They want to lie around it and make you dumb and tell you things that don't make any logical sense. You think about it. When you have a profession that has a limited number of people that can be in that profession. Say you're an RV salesman and you are on the licensing board to approve other RV salesmen. And you're going to hand out a lot of RV salesman licenses. Well, if I was you or I was me, I know what I'd do. I'd be honest. But they're not. They're not honest. I'll just tell you the truth. That's not popular, but it's the truth. I'm not chasing popularity. I'm telling you what, it will protect you and your property and your lives and everything that you have, because they'll take it and call it legal, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it except for what I'm fixing to tell you. So stay tuned, subscribe, help me get the message out. If you can contribute, they're not paying me for this. So if you are an RV salesman and they put you over the RV salesman licensing board. So they just say, well, I only need one or two RV salesmen. Because if you license a bunch of them, that's your damn competition. So you don't want to put a whole bunch of them out there. They might get your money. So you maybe license one or two. And the other ones that have fulfilled all requirements of being an RV salesman, you go looking and you dig. And you can't find a reason to not to license somebody that's come before you, that's done the training, that wants to make a living and sell RVs, and you're over the licensing board, you sell RVs too. So you have a personal stake and interest in minimizing the number of licenses you give out, because you don't want a lot. You got to give out enough to make it look good, but you don't want a lot because if you give a lot, they'll be taking business, and you don't want to have to compete and be honest and fight for money like everybody else has to. So you look for a reason not to license somebody, and you can't find one. So, oh yeah, got to give them your license. Hell no. You think that's what they do? Well, I got to give them my license. I don't want to, but no, they make one up. They make one up. Man, you're saying they lie about stuff? Well, hell yeah. And they lie a lot. They have multiple lies. So they'll tell one lie against you why you shouldn't be a licensed RV salesman. And just in case they tack a bunch of stuff on there, they just throw every damn lie they can think of against the wall. So that there's a bunch of them. And the public thinks, well, he's not just a bad person that maybe shouldn't have got his law license. It was close. They throw so many lies up there that, wow, that person's horrible, to keep down competition, to keep you out of a job. Or, it's even worse, and I've seen it happen, a job that you've been doing for years. They pass new laws, and I'll give you names and dates and times that this stuff has happened. People in government power, for procedure, licensing rules, they take your stuff, and it's their judge decides whether or not you lawfully get it back, and you won't, and you don't. And listen to me, I'll tell you what we need to do. It's very simple. And they got a gun if you won't give them to them, and a robot you paid for that'll get you out of your house. They won't even risk their lives. It's a dangerous, horrific circumstances. The first part of solving a problem is to look at the very horrific nature of it. If you think you're going to walk around on the planet and the government, specifically in the state of Tennessee, other states too, maybe other countries, will take your property without you doing a damn thing. And initially, the way they have set up the laws against you, they take it first and ask questions later, prove their case later. And if you miss a date or time or some little rule that they've written in there to trip you up, they get your stuff, even if the merits, the real reason that they lied about taking it, is not even correct. You can't make this stuff up. I'm Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. I have a doctorate of jurisprudence. I know the law, passed the bar exam twice. I know what I'm talking about. It's not made up, and I'll give you dates and times and receipts, and you can make up your own mind. I'm telling you how bad the problem is. The government taking your stuff without lawful reason, initially the pink slip, jobs, money, cars, and everything, and you don't get it back. You're at the mercy of crooks in power. And that's the way it is. The RV salesman is somebody I know personally, a very good person, denied a license in the state of Tennessee. Had not committed any crime involving any kind of deceit or anything, wanted to sell RVs. He helps take care of his elderly mother. But the state of Tennessee, even though he had the owner of the RV company going into court and testifying in his favor, I'm not going to tell you his name, that he was a great, honest salesman, was a benefit to the public, told the truth, the state of Tennessee and the corrupt licensing boards refused to give him his license to sell RVs. And that's a fact. That's a receipt. He has to drive to another state to his profession as a salesman, one of the greatest professions in the world. A salesman. He's selling the truth, selling RVs truthfully and honestly. An excellent person, an excellent man. What better can you say about a man than that when his mother is elderly and needs help because of their age, a great God-fearing mother, that her son literally helps her, pushes her walker, helps her in the car, drives her to the store. That's a great man. The state of Tennessee says he's not a good person. We're not giving him a license to even sell RVs. He's got to go to another state and do that. Can't do it in Tennessee, even though he's got witnesses and receipts better, because it's their judge decides they want to keep down competition. That's what they do about your jobs. So let's see how many people got in here. I'll tell you some more stuff. Licensing boards, all to hell in the state, keeping down competition. And they write the rules, and I tell you the truth about what they're doing and what we need to do about it. Hang on, we got a whole lot more. Got a whole booklet of stuff here we're going to talk about when we get down to my pulpit, where we're going to represent you on the at our signature location, beautiful view, because they won't let me in a courtroom arguing for you because they want to keep down competition and lie about it. And we're trying to sue them over that. So I'm a man of action and truth, and they don't like it. But evidently you all do, and I thank you all so very much for listening to the channel, Unbridled Pure Truth, and we're making a difference. We have hope. They're not going to take that away from us. So subscribe to the channel if you can, even though I'm monetized. They don't pay me for a lot of this stuff. It's too blatantly honest, and it's against corporations. It's against the corps. So if you can, contribute to the channel. If you can't, I understand, no problem. Subscribe, hit the like button, and share it. We're going to do what we can do in spite of them, peacefully, honestly, to protect the public. They're not out to protect you. They're out to build a big bank account to protect themselves and take care of their family, so none of them have to do anything to lift a finger. And they exploit you. They exploit taking your house. They exploit taking your car. They exploit taking your money. It's well documented. It's no secret. I'm just blowing it up, putting it right out there in front of you. If you think you're exempt from this, don't wait till it's too late and think, well, you'll just be nice to them. They don't care. They want your money. They're greedy as hell. They're so greedy, they're not even good for themselves. So subscribe to the channel and help me get the message out, and we'll show you how you can defend yourself. Got a whole list of information here, receipts and documents. I'm going to tell you how crooked these people in power are that decide whether or not you get to keep your stuff. And with a robot, they don't even do it personally and benefit from it. So we'll head down to our signature location. I'm going to tell you another incident of a licensing board that somebody's already in the profession for years, and the government says, no, we need to get rid of a bunch of them. We need our kids to have that job. So they make up laws and take somebody off of the job they've had for years. And it gets worse. I'll tell you about how worse it gets. Let's see how many people got in here. Thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for coming. Unbridled News, the truth. Face the problem, and then we'll get to the cure. And I'll tell you exactly what that is. It's not their cure. Their cure is dishonesty and corruption and unfairness and laws written 100% in their favor to take every damn thing you got. And no one is exempt. If you're a citizen in this country, you're not exempt. They'll do it to you. And I'm just saying, and asking you make up your own mind. I'll show you receipts. So let's see how many people got in here, and I'll tell you about somebody been in a medical profession helping people for years. And then we need the job, and we're going to minimize competition, even though they had a college degree. Let's see how many people got in here, and we'll tell you about that. Receipts, truth, facts, unbridled. And thank you. Let's see what we got here. And we got a bunch of people in here. Imagine thinking this murderer thinks he knows what he's talking about. So yeah. Imagine thinking that you think you can dissuade me from telling the truth because you're a liar. I've never murdered anybody. I've told the truth about a lot of stuff, and the government hates me, and they got bots on here that lie about me. I'm a God-fearing person. I don't fear government liars. So thank you for your comment. It spreads the message. Some of these people are so stupid. Like, share, comment, subscribe. So yeah, we got a bunch of people on here. Thank y'all for showing up. And if you can, contribute to the channel. Help us get the message out more. So we're going to tell you what we can do about this. But first, we're going to go into the magnitude of the theft problem by government officials. They take it on the front end, and then a judge that benefits from them taking it decides whether or not he gets to keep your property. What do you think he's going to decide? A judge appointed by them. And they lie. Don't believe a word they say. Don't believe anything they say. Look at the facts about what you see with your two eyes and read the laws and figure it out. And I'm about to guide you there. And it's not a hard trip. It's a pretty straight line that goes to them stealing every damn thing you got and making it legal. It's even legal because they wrote the laws in their favor. And it's a flip of the coin whether or not they get to keep it. The burden of proof is really non-existent. So thank you all for joining me. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. Subscribe if you can. Contribute if you can't understand. Keep the show on the road, and it'll stay on the road. I'm Charles Van Morgan. I am an unlicensed lawyer because they're keeping down competition, and I'm protecting the public, and that's why they won't give me a license, because I'll protect the public and not them. Thank y'all for coming. Let's turn this thing around, and I'll continue with the dialogue. I'm going to tell you about a lady in the medical profession. Can't practice helping the public. Was doing it for years, and then the government all of a sudden said, no, we know better. We're going to control the medical profession and keep down competition because we got family and kids that need that job, and we're not going to license you. They pick and choose. So that's what they do. They do it. So there's a lady I know got a college degree to do her profession in the medical profession. Was a sleep tech. She performed sleep studies on people. Did it for years. Went to school to learn how to do it. Passed the school test. Was awarded the degree from a recognized, established, credited institution. A government institution. They benefited from her paying them to educate her, and she was performing the job for years under the laws as they existed, performing well, no complaints. Her patients loved her, and she helped people, kept people alive. Sleep technicians do sleep studies where people have problems sleeping. People die in their sleep, and they have problems, and I don't know a lot about that stuff, but I know people die in their sleep. So doctors send them to sleep studies to where they can figure out what's wrong with their sleeping so that they can diagnose the problem. Like I'm diagnosed the problem why you might lose your damn stuff. And she graduated from college. Passed tests in college, performing the job for years was her livelihood. And then remember the recession that took place in 2008, where a lot of people lost their jobs, the economy went over, the banking system from fraud and lack of appropriate government regulation sank the country almost financially, and people lost their jobs. Well, she was working, doing that job in 2008, 2009. And the government realizes that they need to get rid of people in professions because their families and people that they want in their licensing board need that job. So even though people have been doing it for years, they've got to figure out a way to get rid of them. Older people have been doing stuff for years, and this is what your dirty government does. So what they do to you is they make a new law. Isn't that what they always do? They never get rid of any, and they never hardly ever obey the laws that they've written for themselves. They only apply to you, and they're designed to keep you in control, and they're designed to give them your money. That's what the laws are designed for them to do. You think they write a law that will take money away from them or take a job away from them? Even if it does, they won't obey that law. They don't have to. They're in power, and they get by. They get a free ride. So she's doing that job for years. The recession hits, and they need jobs opening up for them. So they pass a new law during a recession, saying in order to be a sleep tech now, even though she's been doing it for years, and passed tests in college, awarded the degree, paid them to get through college, in order to continue your job, there's a new test that you got to pass, a new procedure, and no one's exempt. Even if you're in the profession, you still have to do this procedure, and the procedure's designed at taking people's jobs away from them. That's exactly what it did. So during the recession, the state of Tennessee made it illegal for this lady, and it's hard to get another job during that recession, made it illegal for her to do her profession, took her job from her. If she'd have went to work, done sleep studies like she'd been successfully doing for years, protecting the public from death, They took her job away from her and made it a crime for her to eat. And that's what they do. And if you think these people are nice, you think they care about you, that's what they did. That's the truth. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's not pretty. I'm telling you the magnitude of the problem. So it's much deeper than property seizures. If they need your job for one of their entourage, one of their cronies, they'll take your job away from you. If they don't have a law, they'll have Lionel Russell write one. If he don't have an education to do what he's doing, they don't care. They'll give him the damn job for free. If they have somebody over public safety that knows nothing about public safety, they don't care. They don't worry about public safety. They worry about them getting a state government paycheck. That's what they do to you. That's how the government works. People say, well, that's not the government work. Yeah, well, it's working. It's working for them well. It doesn't work for you, for the mass populace, the people that it's supposed to work for. But it works just fine for them people writing the rules. It's beautiful. It's like a glutton sitting at a table, ordering people to bring them more and more food and making laws where you got to keep filling the table up. After they eat so much, it makes them damn sick, and it's even bad for them. What is bad even for them that they keep promoting and making laws to facilitate is horribly bad for you, and they deserve the suffering from their gluttony. They did it themselves. You don't deserve what they're doing to you. You don't deserve it. It's unjustified. It's not right. It's public corruption at its worst. Walk down the street, drive down the road, and tell me I ain't worried about a thing till you see blue lights in your rearview mirror and a cop pulls you over, and 10 minutes later they're giving you a pink piece of paper and they're not even putting you in jail, and he says it's our car, not yours. There's the sidewalk. It can happen. You say, but I didn't do anything. Well, you really think you have to? Look at the news. Read the paper, not what the paper tells you. Read between the lines. Our officers in the state of Tennessee, specifically here in Knox County, the leading county, are they arresting people, putting them in jail, and they're not even committing a crime according to blood tests? How about the DUI false arrest? You think those people thought that they'd be arrested falsely? They didn't do anything wrong. Blood tests confirmed it, and they still got a pink slip that takes their car, and they still got to go prove that they didn't do anything wrong. And the burden of proof is 51%, and it's the government judge that benefits from them keeping your car that's deciding whether really he gets to keep your car. That's the cold, hard, blatant, unadulterated truth. And we need to wake up, America, wake up, Tennesseans, and y'all already awake. The ones that are asleep, call them on the phone, tell them the British are coming, the government's coming to take your house. They'll take every damn thing you've got. Warning, sound the alarm. I'm sounding it, blow the trumpet. They're gonna take everything you got. This isn't made up, hyped up, fake, inflammatory stuff that's not truthful. Every bit of it's the truth. If you're a little bit afraid, then you need to, then you need to get a hell of a lot afraid. You're not afraid enough unless you're terrified. And I'm not trying to spread fear, I'm trying to spread truth, because we can do something about it where you don't be afraid. And we're going to tell you that when we get down to the bridge. And our signature location, beautiful site. They've kicked me out of the places where I could represent you in court, where a jury'd have to listen to me. So I'm talking to the jury of Americans in the public, while I still got a constitutional right to speak. And the government's coming, people in government power. The government's not crooked, the people running it right now are. They're coming to take everything that you got. Your house. I'll show you where troopers have gotten awards for taking people's houses. taking people's money. They hand out awards just for that very thing. They don't hand out awards and promotions for life-saving. They mention that in passing, but the awards are for your stuff, your money, your property that people have taken in the name of the government. There's even a Knox County ordinance. Judges, if they adjudicate guilty in civil cases, they get part of the money that goes in their retirement system. So when they get older, they have a huge bank if their incentive to find you your property gone, find you guilty, and so you have to pay court fines. Whereas if they adjudicate the truth, and I've seen them adjudicate falsehoods. I've seen them, you go in and try to defend yourself and they tell you to shut up, guilty, we don't want to hear it. It's already decided. They don't want me to say that. That's the truth. I've seen it happen. I don't have to read a book. I've been there and seen it. I know what their propaganda says. Fair, just courts, fair, just licensing boards. You believe that? I don't. I don't believe it at all. I know that's not true. They can tell me that 100 times. I know it's not true. I've seen it. That's what they do. They keep repeating lies, repeating lies, repeating lies, and a lot of people believe it. They get huge crowds, some of them paid, to go out and march up and down the street and spread lies. An invasion of this country is all right. No more fighting for against an invasion. They get a lot of people, and there's a lot of people for that. Must be the right thing to do. No, it's not. I don't care how many people disagree with the truth. Doesn't change the truth. I might be in the minority. We're going to be the loud minority. The truth matters, has weight and value. We can trample symbolically their lies. Don't be intimidated by government power. We've got more power than I ever dreamed of. Don't be intimidated by huge crowds marching all over the United States, hoping for the invasion of this country by foreigners that are duped. They're completely duped. Psychotic out of their damn minds. If you ask me, that's what I think. And don't be intimidated by them. You know, stupid is as stupid does. I'm not going to go along with that. I don't believe that. Not for 10 seconds, I don't. The government will steal your property. Legalize it. Make it legally just, but it's not just. It's theft. It's stealing what you worked for, giving it to them and they didn't earn it. They didn't work for it, and giving it to their kids. We'll show you receipts. I'm not just talking. I'm going to show you papers. And that lady that worked for years, her job was taken away during a recession because they made a new law specifically designed, I believe, at reducing the number of sleep technicians that were already working so that they can put their own people, give their own people the jobs, controlling every damn thing. It's not a free economy. It's their economy that they've rigged up for them. They're gluttons, and it's not even good for them. So those are just two cases, and I'm a prime example of a third where they won't give me a law license, saying I'm not honest when I'm very honest, and a person that said I wasn't honest was committing a crime of dishonesty at the time she was adjudicating that I'm not honest. What a board is that? Now you won't find that. You won't find what I'm telling you in their reasoning for turning me down for a law license that one of them was committing a crime. They won't tell you that because their court rulings a lot of times are a bunch of dirty, false propaganda. They're not the truth. They're dirty lies. So read their court rulings. Read their court rulings. People, well, it's a court ruling. It's adjudicated by a judge. It must be the truth. If you were there and you seen what happened, you might get a little inkling of the truth. Unless you're there, if it's a court ruling, it doesn't at all mean that the facts fit what they're telling you that they do. Let me give you a little hint. The establishment doesn't want me to say this. The legal establishment doesn't want me to say this. But it's the truth. I've seen it. There are a lot of judges in the state of Tennessee that are dirty and crooked as hell. And they're not going to adjudicate the truth. They're going to lie in court documents. Just because they have the legitimacy given to them by allegedly Christian governor doesn't mean that they're going to litigate the truth of stuff. They lie like hell all the damn time. You know how you can tell they're lying? When you read one of their rulings. And then you go out and look at what the rulings say, compare it to facts in real life. You say, wait a minute now, that couldn't happen that way. That's a bunch of dirty baloney. And then you realize that that judge benefited personally from his adjudication against you, from his lies against you. And that's the truth. Thankfully, fortunately, praise the Lord, for now, and that's changing. It's changing bad. I've already been put in jail for running for public office. For running for public office for the populace. Now, fortunately, I fought it and got out of it. A lot of people don't know how to fight it. I've been educated. I know how to get out of it. And it's not real hard to file civil litigation papers pro se. If you need to do that, do it. No violence. No violence. File papers against them. And also vote. Voters of truth enraged. So the government, and this is scary. You can be driving down the road, living your life, and the government can take your house and benefit from taking your house. And you don't even get a hearing until later. The house is already theirs. You got to go to court later to try to reclaim what they take initially, based on stuff that's not true. If you ever get it back, if you don't cross an I or dot a T, then it's not even based on the merits. They get your house or your car or your money or your job based on a technicality, a procedure rule that they put in place to trip you up so that they don't have to adjudicate the merits, because that's even more difficult, even though they can manipulate that. But they don't want that, because that puts it out in the public a little more for everybody to see that obviously they're blatantly lying about stuff. So they try to trip you up with procedures. And that's why when they go to your door and hand you the pink paper, the house is theirs at that time. You got to get out. Go live on the street. Go with your friends. I'm telling you, this can happen to you. I'm being brutally honest for your benefit. And they can move their families into your house after they sell. It's their house. It's government property. They can open up an office of civil forfeiture to take more people's house in the house that they took from you illegitimately, and makes it easy because they've got rules set down in place. If you don't dot an I or dot a T, and they're good at figuring out, looking at for the I's and dotted T's and looking for the procedural errors that they've hidden that you make so that they can cheat you out of your stuff. And they can literally set up a Forfeiture seizure office to take your neighbor's house in your damn house. That's the truth. You think I'm exaggerating? Wake up in jail. Wake up on death row and tell me, well, maybe he knew what he was talking about. Hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah, I do. I've been burned by the system one time too many while I was out protecting you. I wasn't one of their dirty government agents. Now they're trying to say I am. Of course they do. They lie. Stuff I can prove. But they keep lying. But I keep telling the truth, keep subscribing, keep liking, and we'll beat them. Not through their methods of lying, deception, and misinformation, and apparent legitimacy because they're government officials, but by telling the truth. The truth doesn't change no matter who's telling the lie against the truth. It doesn't change. The governor can lie. He can say that he's a Christian, and he may be, I don't know his heart, and allege that he will correct injustice wherever he finds it, and then go on in his administration to cause more injustice than any governor in the history of the state of Tennessee has probably ever caused. So that's just the truth. People don't like to hear the truth sometimes, and that's why they're on here lying about me. So keep on lying. Welcome. This is the Charles Van Morgan Show. Like, share, comment. We're almost down to our beautiful signature location. God bless us. I'd rather be at my pulpit with the beautiful sun spear in the background than have to deal with their dirty courts. They wouldn't let me defend you in their courtrooms anyway. They'd say, Mr. Morgan, be quiet. You're an officer of the court. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I got to lie for the government, and I'm not going to. And we're fighting them tooth and nail. Legally, justifiably. I'm not doing anything wrong. They are. And I'm telling you they are, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to put out the paperwork black and white so you can see it. So, Tennesseans, Americans, and other countries, rise up lawfully, legally. Contest the lies. Fight the AI baloney. And go vote. And realize the magnitude of the problem. And it's people in power in the government. The problem is not inflation. The problem is manufactured inflation because people in power are sucking too much money off the top of the table. That's the problem. The economy would be just fine, would be beautiful. People would be flourishing. People would have medical care. Everything would be wonderful. It really would. Close to a utopia. Now, we're not going to get perfect till the next life, but it would be close to utopia. Wonderful. Wonderful. Except for people in government power. Draining the system. Sickening people that are disgusting, despicable people, gluttonous for power and money, and taking everything that you have if they want it. And it literally benefits them, and selling you a bunch of lies. We're good people with a big pretty smile on their face while they're doing it. Do you believe them? Do you believe them, or do you believe me? Nobody else says that. Unbridled news with receipts. I'm not just talking off the top of my head. I'm telling you real facts, real people, real times, real places, real damage. And I'm telling you about these people in government power. It's not defamation. It's the truth. Defamation is false communication. It's every damn bit the truth. I got facts to prove it. So we're almost at our signature location. Thank y'all for joining me. And we're going to talk about civil forfeiture laws. Now, they changed the law just this year to where you don't have to pay the $350 initial payment for a court case to have a hearing to fight they're stealing your money from you. And they did that because they got so much public pressure, because it's so atrocious and so widespread. Newspapers and journalists have put out the problem of forfeiture, and it goes much deeper than that. It's your very lives, your very careers that they're taking from you. People in government power, they're wicked as hell. They'll take everything you got. It's serious. We need to pay attention to it and do something about it, lawfully and peacefully. Unlike them. Unlike them, they're not lawful and they're not peaceful. They claim they are, but I claim they're not. And I'm going to tell you why they're not. They lie about stuff. I tell the truth. So they got so much pressure that they said, oh, we'll exempt that $350. So they changed the law in the state of Tennessee. You no longer have to pay $350 to go to court to fight what was lawfully yours, but they've already taken away, and you got to fight. You did have to pay $350 to get it back. So they made it seem like we're being honest and fair now. We exempt the $350. And everything's fine. Everything's beautiful. It's a wonderful world. It's a utopia now. We've corrected the problem. You don't have to pay $350. But they haven't gotten at the real substance of the problem. They're still going to get your stuff. They just don't get an extra $350 added on to it. And I'll expel out still the consequences. But that's propaganda. We corrected the problem. No more $350. They had to do that because they were under so much public pressure because of the government thievery. But they haven't corrected any damn thing. They just don't get $350 on top of your house, your car, your money, and your job. Isn't that real good of them? Do you buy their lies? So, I mean, they give you a little grain. They breadcrumb you. We've corrected the problem. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. They tried to elude and back off some of the public pressure because of their government corruption, their government theft. So they gave you a little crumb and think everything's okay. It's not okay. And initially when I put this out about what they were doing, that's what naysayers said. And you know, I go on what I see with my own 4 eyes because I wear glasses. I'm a little bit older than I used to be. And what I know from credible sources, and the naysayers can put it where the sun don't shine because they're liars. And so I don't pay attention to that. It doesn't bother me. If I want to answer, I will. If I don't, I don't. I'm not affected by false public pressure. It really doesn't bother me. I'm past that. People forget I have a Master of Arts in Sociology, so I'm very aware of the atrocities that social pressure can cause, and I go on the truth and what God tells me, and I don't listen to public pressure. So if you got a lie and you think you're going to intimidate me into going along with a bunch of stuff that hurts the public, then you're wrong. It's not working. So, you know, you can keep it up if you want to. You're wasting your breath. If you're dealing with me, I'll tell the truth. That's what fighting's all about. I'll keep throwing the punch. Symbolically, whether or not some people listen or not. So they breadcrumbed it. They haven't changed anything. It's still as horrific as it ever was. And you know it's horrific if they've changed the laws to try to act like they're making it more in your favor. Why would they even change that if Forfeiture was so beautiful and so wonderful and they had the laws correct? Why would they change the laws a little bit more in the public's favor? Because they were getting ready to sink their dirty ship. They had so much pressure they had to give you a little something. So they give you $350 and still take your damn house, take your car, take your job, take your money, drive down the street, watch them blue lights and remember what I'm telling you. They can take everything you got, but I didn't do anything wrong. The over 2,000 people that were arrested for drunk driving in the state of Tennessee, majority of them here in Knox County didn't do any damn thing wrong either. So that has nothing to do with it. Whether you did anything wrong or not, get this, is irrelevant. It's theirs when they give you the piece of paper. Their accusation is all they need, even if it's not true. So I wonder how many of the 2,000 people, and they haven't said this, I wonder how many of the 2,000 people that they falsely arrested over the past about 3 or 4 years got a pink slip, and they, based on a false arrest where they said they were drunk, although no intoxicants in their system, their property is still gone. Still gone. And they don't even have to charge you with a crime to steal your damn property. They can do it a civil forfeiture. So they don't even have to go to the burden of proof, guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The burden of proof that they've just recently changed because of public pressure is preponderance of the evidence. 50 a minute amount tipping the scales in their favor. A flip of the coin, and they win. And the judge is on their team, is the one that's getting part of the money from you. Do you trust that? I don't. I don't trust it. I'm not afraid to say that. I don't trust a judge in the state of Tennessee. Not a damn one of them. Now, there are some that are honest, but initially I don't trust them. I look at the result. Do they give people their property back? Do they adjudicate according to the Constitution? When they do that and they sign the papers against the government, against their taking, justifiably, now there are cases where people's property does need to be taken. Very rare, not under the laws that they have now, quite frankly. But until they do right, I don't trust them, one of them. And there are some, very few that do right, and the ones that do right are limited and bound by their corrupt system. If they speak out, they'll take their stuff. They'll take every bit of their property and their stuff. Let's look at the beautiful view. We'll continue with this informational, unbridled news. Join the program. Got some great stuff. You won't hear this anywhere else. Everybody's afraid to say it. I'm cautiously saying it. I keep my head down. I know that they're after me. They're listening to this. That's why I have to keep repeating. Non-violently, and that's honest. I promote nonviolence and obeying the laws and fighting them through the legitimate legal process that they got set up. Let's look at a beautiful view. So here we go. So the government in the state of Tennessee, in that courthouse right there, takes your stuff. So we're fighting them in the federal courthouse. And beautiful view we got here, and I'll be quiet just for a minute and let you see the beautiful view, my signature location. So like, share, comment, and we're going to get to my pulpit and show you some evidence, talk to you about the government stealing your stuff, documented cases where people in the government get awards for taking your property, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it under the existing system that these crooks have got in power. So hold on and pay attention. We got a whole bunch of paperwork here. It is conviction first, then forfeiture. And or not even a conviction. They can take your property through civil forfeiture laws. Don't even have to charge you with a crime. It happens all day, every day, in crooked Tennessee courtrooms. So look at the beautiful view. Thank y'all for showing up. Man, 142 people on here. God bless y'all. So we're talking about the government stealing your stuff. Lawful. We're talking about legalized theft of your house. And I'll show you a case where they took somebody's house, a government official, and gave the person that took it an award for taking your house. They say, hey, it's a good job, trooper. You took somebody's house. We're giving you Trooper of the Year for stealing somebody's house from them. That's what I think. I'm allowed to say that. More than one occasion. So they praise them for taking your stuff, your house. You live in your house, you go to sleep at night if you own a house. And could be, if you rent a house, you might have to get out because the owner of the rented house might have his property taken. So you'll have to go find another house because it's owned by the government now. And they'll set up a forfeiture seizure office in your house that they've stolen from you so that they can steal more houses from you. That's the magnitude of the problem. That's reality. That's not mystical, or it doesn't happen. It won't happen to me. It will and very well could happen to you, and happens a lot all the time. I'm sounding the trumpet. This is your warning. Please listen for your own benefit. This doesn't benefit me. It puts me in danger. They'd like to toast me, but God's on my side. I won't fear what man can do to me. I speak the truth. I'm not in the courtroom. If I was in a courtroom, I'll follow court orders. Or court rules. I'm in the public, on a public sidewalk, standing on the First Amendment, allowed to speak the truth against people in government power. It is information of public interest and public necessity. Y'all need to hear this. And you need to spread this. You need to subscribe to the channel. YouTube doesn't reshare a live broadcast or won't tell you about a live broadcast unless you subscribe. So subscribe to the channel where you'll see another show tomorrow where I put out some more information that will protect you against government overreach, government intrusion, government theft today, And we're going to spell it out, a very important topic. You think you own something? They own the rules. They write the laws. They have the courthouse where your property is registered. All they got to do is give you a pink slip and convert it into their name and make you go to court to prove that you didn't deserve it being taken away, and they do it all the time. So, Charles Van Morgan, unbridled news. They're stealing your property, taking your jobs, making it hard for you to live. And what a horrible, horrific atrocity. The government, specifically in the state of Tennessee, people say it's that way everywhere, and I don't know. I don't live in another state. You tell me, is it that way in your state? Most likely. I know that it's that way in the state of Tennessee. I live here, and I know how these crooked people are. Now, not all of them, honestly. There are very few, very, very few that are honest. And the ones that are honest, the judges and adjudicators and lawmakers that are honest, can't do much about it, because if they do, then they'll have their house taken away, their property taken away. They'll be ostracized. They'll be blackballed, because the system works very well. The government works very well. You say, how does it work very well? If you're telling me all this happens, it works very well for them. They've got it set up for them. In fact, it works too good for them. They're like gluttons. It doesn't work for you, but it works for them. It does exactly what they want it to do. Like clockwork. But it's horrific for you. And we're going to talk about some facts and cases where they've seized people's property knowing that it was unlawfully, unrightly taken, and still tried to pursue it. So if you think there's an inkling of honesty, compassion, and fairness, and submission to the rule of law, you're wrong. There is not any. There's deception, lies, deceit, crooked, and if you think they'll get in trouble for disobeying their own damn rules, then you're wrong again. They don't have to obey any rules. They write them, they break them, and they enforce the rules, and they're not enforcing them against them. And we'll talk to you about specific cases, facts and evidence. So I'm leaving receipts. Look at the beautiful view, Charles Van Morgan Show. Here's where we give you the truth about the deception. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. So, back in, they'd like to forget about this. I don't forget about it. Back in 2015, they had a liar lawyer, Joe Bartlett. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Yeah, your corruption didn't go away. So they had a liar lawyer, and his name was Joe Bartlett. And I'm telling you what they'll do to you. They'll take your property, your car, your money, your inheritance. Your mother, your father passes away. And they give you money. They worked hard all their life. They want you to do well. And they give you money at their death. And Mr. Bartlett, the greedy man that he is, using the law, using his legal education to be deceptive and to push forward stuff that he knows is false, that he's told is false. He didn't care. He didn't care about that. He cares about getting money for himself and the government, illegitimately. So, they take it, your money. And this is just one case where they did exactly that. If you think that they won't take it from you, they will. So, and they'll lie about it. So here's a case and they take your property also by eminent domain and give people awards for doing it. So here is a case that Joe Bartlett, now he's the same lawyer that took my job from me. You say, well, that's a personal problem. He just took your job from you, and according to what they say, you deserved it. That's not true. He lied. And he didn't just lie about me. And government lawyers don't just lie about your friend next door, and that's bad luck. They'll lie about you. It's personal. It's personal to you. So this lady was driving in Sevierville, Tennessee. And what happened is she was stopped by Sevierville police. And she had money in her car from an inheritance. This is facts. This ain't hyperbole. This ain't a bunch of baloney. This is facts. This is receipts right here. They'll take your property. They'll take your money. This literally happened. Joe Bartlett, the same man that lied on me, taking my job. Now, Joe Bartlett, when he's taking my job, lying about me, they had a judge overseeing my case. And that judge, in the past, had adjudicated that troopers get their job back. Some of them shouldn't have got their job back. But he was a compassionate judge, and he didn't think that people should have their job taken away, give people another chance. And he adjudicated for troopers, for the little man. And he was assigned to my case to hear why I should not have my job taken away, didn't do anything wrong. And so they thought, since he had adjudicated for other people in the past, that he might give me my job back like he should. So they got another judge, reassigned the judge that was originally appointed to my case, reassigned another judge. So if they have a judge that's going to act honestly, they'll just take them off your case and reassign a crooked judge. And that's exactly what they did. So if you think you're going to get a fair hearing, you say, I know this judge, he's an honest judge. When you show up for court, it'll be another judge, one that they got bought and paid for. That's just the truth. So they got this dirty judge, Randall Lefevre. And he's a dirty judge. He said that something happened that you can take pictures of factually in a video, and it didn't happen. It's verified by video recorded evidence. But he's legitimate. He's the judge. If he said it happened, and it dispels laws of nature and physical facts and everything. Right. No, that's not true. So they don't play by any rules. So this lady was driving in Sevierville, just like you imagine driving in Sevierville. Got money in your car from your inheritance. You're going to deposit in the bank, or you're getting ready to go buy something with cash money. So you got several $1,000s in your car. Driving somewhere, going to visit your family, and then all of a sudden you see blue lights in your back window. This can happen to you. Inheritance money, it's not unlawful money. It's money that was worked for and earned, that your parents loved you and gave you, and then the state comes in. They don't care about love. They don't care about rightfully yours, your family earned. They don't care about anything. They want your money, and they're gonna get it. It doesn't matter if it's not illegal money, if it's not drug money, if it's not used in the perpetration of a crime, they're gonna take it. This is exactly what they did. Receipts right here. So the first advice I would give you, don't be running around with cash money in your car. That's just the easy takings, easy pickings for the government. That's drug money. It's ours. Keep it somewhere where they can't get it, because they'll lie about it. Take it. So this lady's driving around Sevierville. This literally happened. Same attorney that lied about me, he literally said that it's easier to see at night than it is in the daytime. He literally questioned me about me seeing better than a video camera can. And the judge agreed with him, which is a bunch of false stuff. You look at football teams. A referee will be out calling a football play. And you look next week, the NFL, the Super Bowl's coming up. And a referee on the scene in live action will make a call, for example, a touchdown. And he'll call a touchdown, and the other side will throw the red flag in. And Judge Lefevre and this attorney's trying to say that referee on the sideline can determine better in live action where things are happening in real time than a camera can, when they can slow the camera down later and stop it at certain points of time. With time, it doesn't matter on the camera, but that's better. The real live action is better than the camera. No, the camera, they can slow stuff down. So the referee calls a touchdown, they slow it down, and it shows on the referee, according to the line, that the ball didn't cross the goal line, according to camera still shot evidence. So they overturn the referee's call on the sideline. Now, he didn't purposely do that in real time. That's what he thought. But in Judge Lefevre's court, in Bartlett's court, I can determine things better after replay than a camera can. That's just totally false. And they don't care about false or true. So this lady's driving around in Sevierville with money from an inheritance in her car. This literally happened. And a Sevierville police officer thinks it's drug money and seizes it. Takes the money, says it's drug money, and they have a right to take your money if it's used to facilitate a crime, drug crimes. So they found prescription medicine on her and charged her with a crime, and they took her money saying she was using that money to facilitate a crime. $11,000 that she had in cash money in her car. And here's the case right here. The case is Kathy Soltner, S-T-I-L-T-N-E-R, and she had $11,922. Now, you got money in your car. I'm just telling you what the state will do. An inheritance from her family. Not illegal money. Money her family worked, loved her, gave it to her. The state comes in. The state's going to come and get yours too. I'm telling you the truth. Listen to me, please, for your own good. It's not my good. It puts me in danger. So they come, right here in this case, $11,922 in currency. And a Volkswagen Jetta. They took her car too. Date of seizure, 07-24-14, Kathy Soltner, S-T-I-L-T-N-E-R. So, she's driving around in Sevierville. Has inheritance money. They take her inheritance money. Sevierville police officer takes her money and seizes it, gives her a pink slip, and she has to fight to get her money, her money back that she was inherited, because the state's alleging that it's inheritance money. Later on, the Sevierville officer, because they're pushed to seize your property, they get awards for it, later determines that after he's already taken it, it's already in the government's hands, in Joe Bartlett's hands, a crooked attorney. He's a crooked attorney. He's a dirty attorney. Sue me, Joe Bartlett. I don't have anything because you've taken everything I got away. That's the good thing about not having anything. After they've taken all you got, they can't take any more. So she is, hopefully, who would put anything past them. You can have my shirt. You want my coat, Joe? It's not. I'm too big for you. You little man. You couldn't take it. So Joe Crook Bartlett, Joe Thief Bartlett, stealing money under the name of stealing people's inheritance, and saying you can see better than a recording can, even though you can stop the recording. I mean, that's the lies they tell. So he stole. The Sevierville police officer later determined that it was inheritance money. So he goes to the court hearing and testifies that he found out, she's got receipts, that it was inheritance money, that it wasn't drug money, and asked the court to give the money back to her. So Joe Bartlett, the state attorney, disagrees with the officer. He wants to keep the money, even though he knows the officer that took the money is testifying that he made a mistake. Joe Bartlett, he won't go along with that. He wants the money. And this is the case right here. In the case, a Sevierville police officer seized funds because he found them contemporaneously with unmarked pills. That were prescription pills, later found out. Upon further investigation, the pills were found not scheduled drugs, but were over-the-counter medication. Based on this, the law enforcement agency and the district attorney's office did the right thing, reasonable thing, dismissed the criminal drug charges and tried to return the confiscated money. So, here's what happened with Mr. Joe Bartlett, the state attorney that's wanting to steal your money. So, during the hearing, McHugh provided several convoluted explanations in its attempt to dissuade the department that her money, jewels, and vehicle were proceeds of illegal drug trade. And so they tried to keep her money anyway. And during the standing hearing, Ms. Soltner provided documentation that she obtained $22,401 on June 14th from a family estate, inheritance money. She testified that all monies that she had in her vehicle when she was arrested June 24, 2014 were proceeds from that check. Officer Moran testified that had he known the pills that he found in the vehicle were over-the-counter medications and not for scheduled drugs, he would not have sworn out forfeiture warrant averring the monies were drug proceeds. So he's admitting that he made a mistake. But the state's already got the money, trying to get it back. And Joe Bartlett, the crook that he is, still tried to take the money and appeal the judge's decision to keep her money, and appealed the decision, trying to keep the lady's money, even though he knew it was hers. And the department citing McHugh University Department of Safety, the spotted on this shows a serious misunderstanding of logical reason. Apparently the department does not know how to distinguish between a legal holding of the case as opposed to court-specific findings. So, Attorney Joe Bartlett appealed the decision, even though knowing that the police officer admitted he made a mistake. Joe Bartlett appealed the decision to the appeals court, spending state tax money, still trying to steal her money. And he's the same attorney that lied on me. He's retired now, but they got other liars in the state. Attorney Deborah Martin was his backup attorney. They had two attorneys in the state that were representing the state government, trying to take my job away from me. That was one liar, and Deborah Martin is another liar. You can't give false information to a court. That's against the rules. She wrote in her brief that I said something that I didn't say. You can listen to the videotape. Clear as a bell. She alleges that I said that when I'm sitting waiting for the clock to run out, following the Department of Safety rules, that I said, quote, "That's going to be the car." Knowing that the car was back there, that I intentionally passed it up to what they're trying to say. And she quoted me in her brief, saying, "I said this." You can listen to the recording. Factual, it's not hard to find, and the judge went along with it, didn't sanction her at all. What I said was that's probably, meaning a high likelihood, but not for sure. So they changed my words in a legal proceeding that you're not supposed to give false information to a judge. So they even give false information in taking your property away from you, your job, your house, your car, everything you own. Joe Bartlett is a listed attorney in the Department of Safety in a certificate of service. And here's the facts of that case. A Sevierville Police Department officer stopped and arrested Kathy Stoltner for DUI, searched her car, and found $11,922 plus unmarked pills. The pills later tested as non-controlled over-the-counter, and the criminal judge charges were dismissed. The document asserts local law enforcement, DA, did the right thing by returning the money, but the Department of Safety, Joe Bartlett, allegedly kept pursuing forfeiture anyway. He did keep pursuing. The brief is written by Brian E. Doulis, an extremely aggressive tone. It even uses words like he was aggressive, intimidating, and he tried to steal her money, even knowing, and that's what they'll do to you. Drive down the road, have your blue lights on, see what they do to you. So, in Tennessee, they have that $350 fee that's gone because of so much public pressure. but there's still a towing, storage charge, time off work, transportation, and lawyer fees that you still got to pay when they illegitimately, like in that case, take your money. So you still pay. They removed the $350 paywall, but you still pay storage, towing, time, and legal help if you can navigate it, if you can't navigate it alone. And it is very difficult to do that. So they steal your property. They steal your property. And then you have to come up later and figure out how to get it back against the judge that benefits from taking your property and your job and your house and everything you got. So government can take your property without convicting you. They don't even need a criminal conviction. Criminal conviction requires proof beyond a reasonable doubt that you can talk to a jury. If I were a licensed attorney, which I'm not, although I have a legal education just like lawyers do, passed the bar twice, they won't give me, they're withholding my livelihood from me, and I'm suing them in court like they should. They even using me to sue them in court. Well, they can use that against me all day long. I got a right to do that. And I'm going to, legally and lawfully. Hopefully I'll win. So they can take your property without criminal charges. The civil case only requires 51%. So that's a flip of the coin. When they take your property unlawfully, and they do all the time, every day, all day, and benefit from it, it goes in their pocket. The officer that's taking your property, some of that goes in his back pocket. The judge that's adjudicating that the officer gets your house, your car, your money, gets money from your property, goes in his retirement. That's the truth, unbridled news. I'm going to tell you that's the truth. Look up Knox County fines and court costs and the distribution. Goes to the sheriff's department, goes to the court clerk, $6 a head goes in the judge's retirement. If he adjudicates no, give him your property back, you're not guilty, he gets zero. He has zero incentive other than being honest and constitutional to adjudicate the truth. He has his retirement, living high on the hog in his older age, feeding his family, taking care of his family that don't work, if he takes your property. So what do you think he's going to do? I'll tell you what he does. They take your property. If you think I'm lying, a judge on the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners, I was in his class in law school. So I'm telling you about stuff I know firsthand. I've seen it with my eyes, heard it with my ears. You know, they can tell you whatever they want to tell you. I know what I know, and seen it, firsthand experience. That's how you know the truth. Don't listen to the news; they're biased. Listen to liars; they're biased. Listen to somebody that's seen it, that's a trusted friend, or that you have seen it with your own eyes. That's what you listen to. So this judge on the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners handing out law licenses. He said in class, this was in contracts class, he said in class, well, I always have to support my son forever. He's talking about his son not having a job, being a licensed attorney, not working, and making a joke, I'm always going to have to support my son. His son's in his late 20s. And so his money is going to take care of his son that doesn't work. He's got a law license that he's given him a law license. He's over the Board of Law Examiners. He's the one that gives license. Of course, he gives one to his son that doesn't even use it. I would like to have my law license to use it to protect you. But I'm paying him to get through law school. He's teaching the contracts class. He wasn't even a good teacher. But in class, he joked about, well, I always have to support my son. So he's admitting he's supporting his grown adult son. He's on the Board of Law Examiners. Gave his son a law license. They're the ones that license attorneys. Of course, he licensed his son. They license all their friends and buddies. I mean, that's how it works for them. Well, they get licensed. Somebody like me that was out on the road risking my life for public safety, lowered the fatality rate single-handedly, that's on your side, it's on the public side, I'll never get my law license. The judge on the Board of Law Examiners that committed a crime of deception, they took her law license away. She's a lawyer now. So it ain't about crimes, ain't about being dishonest. You can be dishonest as long as you're in their plan. They'll take your property. They don't have to have a reason, they'll make one up. They'll take your job. So he's supporting his son, a judge on the Board of Law Examiners, and they denied me my law license and gave his son a law license. So he's keeping me from making a living, although he got money for educating me to get my ability to try to get licensed. And he's getting paid for the Board of Law Examiners, and he's giving his son money. So you're paying them, and I paid him to adjudicate against me, not voluntarily, I'm fighting him in court. I paid him to adjudicate against me to give his son law license, and also the money that I paid him goes to his son. That doesn't work. So you pay them to benefit them, to deny you, to take your stuff, and they take your money that takes care of them and their kids that don't work, even though you want to work. And that's the government. You trust them, I don't. And the kid uses his money to go to strip joints. So you're paying them money. The money that they take from you is going to them, and they're taking money away from you. They're denying you. They're giving it to their family to go and visit strip clubs. That's the truth. I've seen it with my own eyes. And they won't let me be an attorney because I'm not an honest person. They don't like me being honest. It's a problem. It ain't I'm not honest. They don't like my honesty. It's the truth. They need to be voted out of office. So the case is against the property, not the person, in civil forfeiture cases. So your money is treated like your money is guilty. Most people never get charged. 80% of those who have assets seized aren't charged with a crime. So you don't have the benefit of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It's flipping the coin. So your property, 80% of those who have assets seized aren't charged with a crime. So your property is gone. It's gone. Because they decided, turn on blue lights, get behind you, lie about you being drunk. I mean, 1,500, 2,500 people are accused of a crime. That blood evidence comes back. And that's not a scrape in the bucket. That's the ones that we know of. How about the ones before that? And it's 50.01, barely over 50%, and they got your property, and the judge benefits from them taking your property. So what do you think he's going to do if he's honest? You know, a judge in the Bible, in Solomon, the wisest person that ever lived, a judge adjudicated a lady come before him, and they were arguing about a child. One lady said it was her child, another lady said it was her child. And what happened is this lady's child died. And she went and took another lady's child, stole the child. So they were adjudicating it before a judge to argue about whose child it was. And this one lady, her child died. She was stealing another lady's child, but it wasn't her child. So they go before this judge, and this judge adjudicated that. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the baby in half, and you get one half, and the other lady gets the other half. So he knew that the real mother of the baby would rather give the child away than have the child killed, cut up. So he knew he would get the truth by telling them, we'll cut the child up, and the lady that wasn't her child already died, would say, yeah, cut the child up, because that wasn't her child. So he got to the truth, and the lady that it was her child said, no, you know, let that lady have the child alive. So judges don't adjudicate that today. They'll cut the baby all to hell. And that's what they do. So forfeiture seizure, civil forfeiture seizure is just one way they take your money. And there's many more. So real numbers presented to look like pure gold. So the district attorney in the federal government has posted seizure numbers that say that it's going to crime victims to make them look good, but a lot of seizure money goes back to police departments and law enforcement agencies. Criminal collections versus civil collections versus equal different things. So the 8,278,063 in asset forfeiture actions in 2025. $8,278,000 the government took in Tennessee in forfeiture actions. And these forfeiture actions, they got all this money sitting there. After they wrongfully take your money, and all this big pocket of money sitting there while you're trying to get it back, they have these people in the government that steal the money that's already stolen from you. David Henderson signed a plea agreement, Knoxville Federal Court, Knox County, Tennessee. Former narcotics chief manipulated a credit card in a special cash drug fund. That's where they take money saying you're selling drugs. That's that lady's money. To hand out what amounted to thousands of dollars in gifts and to perform favors for friends, colleagues, and even former Knox County Sheriff, a newly filed federal plea agreement. So, even the money that they're stealing, and they get anyway, a little bit of it, they get greedy and steal the money that's already stolen from you. These are people in power. You can't get much worse than that. Let's show you here. Look at this. Look at this. They steal money. David Henderson signed a plea agreement last week. That was August 26th. Last week. The deadline in Knoxville Federal Court for him to do so. So he pled guilty. So he stole money. Manipulated a card and special cash drug fund to hand out what amount to thousands of dollars in gifts. So he stole forfeiture money, civil forfeiture money. 51% flip of the coin that was in a bucket, and he's stealing that. And the department even gets that. So they're stealing from staff that they already stole from, pled guilty for that, under J.J. Jones here in Knox County, Tennessee. That's how crooked these people are, and he just got caught. There's a lot of them doing that never get caught. Imagine that. So this new law eliminates fee for reclaiming seized property. The Governor Lee signed a bill, $350 property. So you don't have to pay $350, but you still have to pay. That was last year, May 7th last year. You still have to pay your attorney. You have to take time off work. It still costs a lot of money for you to go get your own property that they've illicitly taken. Blue lights behind you. You got money in the car. There's a long road to hoe ahead of you. But you say, I didn't do anything wrong. You don't have to. And then while your money's in their possession, they're stealing it right out from under what they're not supposed to do, and they get it anyway. You can't make this wickedness up, these dirty people in power. So here's Thompson Patterson versus Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. Now this is a case where they took this guy's property and they didn't adjudicate the case based on the merits. That means they didn't get to whether or not his property was used in the commission of a crime. They can take your property if it's used to facilitate a crime, which is a law designed, which doesn't work in effect, to stop people from committing crimes. Because if you're using your car to sell drugs, then they take your car. And that's so they take your car so you can't use it to sell drugs anymore, they claim. In effect, they're taking people's cars. And they're not committing crimes. I mean, I just showed you that. It's not funny. I mean, your car's gone. They say you're selling drugs out of it. And you say, well, I can prove it. I'll go to court and prove that I wasn't selling drugs. Well, you have an attorney like Joe Bartlett that'll pursue the case anyway. And also, this case right here, Thompson Patterson versus Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, the crooked Tennessee Department of Safety. In this case, they took the man's car, and what happened is, an administrative law judge ordered default against the applicant for failing to appear at a resetting of his case hearing on civil asset court. So they took his property, and not based on the merits, whether or not his car was used in the commission of a crime. They took his car based on procedure, not even whether it was rightfully taken or not. So if they don't get it from pursuing a fake case, they get it from a forfeiture because you didn't dot every I. And this case right here shows that. This case right here, on appeal, the commissioner designed for the Department of Safety Homeland affirmed the administrative law judge's default entry of default, denying applicant's request to set aside the same order. So there. Appellant appeared the commission's designee decision to the Chancery Court, raising the administrative officials lacked authority to default his case because they did not swear an oath of office consistent with that sworn judicial branch of judges of the Tennessee State Judiciary. The Chancery Court affirmed the administrative official decision. Appellant appeared, we affirm. So, entered an order to default for failing to appear at a resetting. So they entered a hearing of default not based on the merits because of one missed court date. One missed court date. And they wouldn't reset it. And so they took his property after they already had it. They kept his property based on procedure, and it's their procedure. If they miss a court date, they'll reset it to keep the money. If you miss a court date, your money's gone. But wait a minute now, I want another court date so I can argue it wasn't drug money, it was inheritance money. That doesn't matter. You missed a court date, even if you're right, even if it's not drug money and you can prove it, it doesn't matter. They take your money based on, so we gotta go, they take your money based on procedure. So you're not supposed to go across here. So they take your money based on violating one of their procedures, that if they violate the same damn procedure, then they would reschedule. So it's not even about the merits, whether or not you did it or not. It's based on the procedure of the case. So no criminal conviction required, lose the property, long delays, months, years while the government holds the property, default traps, missing one hearing can hinder everything for you. So that's after you're completely innocent. So we got a serious criminal here, jaywalker. That's not where you're supposed to cross. But not like I don't do that sometimes. But so you lose your money based on the procedure that they've set up after they've already got your money. So they show up, take your property, and then have your property, and 51%.01, a judge they got set up. If they got a judge that adjudicate fairly, they'll reassign them. Judge of favors reassign in my case. And if you miss a hearing for even a legitimate reason, then they take your property, even if you can prove that it's not drug money. So you get stopped for drunk driving. You're not drunk. Blood tests come back. You didn't have anything to drink. They've already seized your car. And you miss a court hearing, and your car's gone. You show up with the paperwork. Hey, I wasn't drunk. It didn't matter. You missed this court hearing. Too late. But I was stuck in traffic, or I got a wrong date on the paper that you gave me. That doesn't matter. They want to take your property and they'll get it. Agencies can benefit directly or indirectly from forfeitures, which makes people distrust the motive. The motive is they benefit. They're in the government. The government gets the money. They benefit from the money that they're taking from you. That's a system designed to steal from you. They're stealing from you. It's legalized theft. It's crooked. It's wrong. It is horrific. They can take everything you got, your job, through administrative licensing requirements, your property through forfeiture seizure, without even charging you with a crime and a lower burden of proof that really is non-existent. A preponderance of the evidence, when they got a judge that decides preponderance of the evidence, you don't get the benefit of a jury of your peers, your property's gone. They want your property, they're going to get it. They're going to take it. That's the unbridled news, the real truth. They don't tell you anywhere else. They have changed the laws where you don't have to pay that $350 because they're getting so much public pressure that this stuff is wrong. They sit out on the interstate. The drugs come from Florida, from other countries through the coast, comes from Florida through I-40, going east all up through 75. That's where the drugs are coming. In Tennessee, they sat on the interstate on the westbound lanes. The money goes east. The drugs go east. That's the stuff that's killing people. That's the stuff they need to be stopped. The officers that are forfeiture officers, really, police officers at police departments, sit on the westbound side because the drugs go east, they get the money, they come back west to deliver the money to pay for the drugs, or they get killed. And the officers sit on the westbound side stopping people with the money. They don't stop the drugs. They don't care if you get killed. It ain't about that. It's about taking money. And they stop people that have money in their car and accuse them of using it for drugs. And even if a court, you find a judge that adjudicates lawfully and legally that it wasn't drug money, you got proof it was inheritance money. If you got money laying around, they'll take it. You got to go through a procedure to get it back that's designed to make you mess up so they don't even have to adjudicate the merits of the case, whether or not you did anything wrong. They got you on a procedure. So a procedure at 51% wins. So there's no way, realistically, honestly, in my opinion, that you're going to win when they want your house, they want your car, they want your money, they want your inheritance, they want your job through their crooked licensing agency. They've got a family to feed and kids that won't work, that want to go to strip joints, and they're going to pay them with your hard-earned money that you work for. That's just the truth, unbridled news. If you want to hear a lie, ask AI, type in Google. Listen to some of these nuts on here. And if you think you're exempt, the next time you see blue lights in your back windshield, hope you don't have any money, and kiss your car goodbye. A lot of times, they will take it, and they will try to make you like it. Just like I told Lionel Russell. A lot of people run over me in my lifetime. None of them have ever made me like it. And I fight back. Don't make them make you like what they're doing to you, agree with it, or go along. What we can do about this is we can fight it, contesting the seizure. Property owners must file a claim or petition for a term within 30 days of receiving notice of seizure. So you have to file a claim, go through the legal procedure. Even if it's unjust, and even if you don't think you have a prayer, then give to Caesar's what Caesar's. Obey the law as they have it written the best you can. Now, we need to rewrite the laws and get better politicians in. The burden of proof. While it is civil proceeding, the state must establish probable cause that the property is subject to forfeiture. So you better wipe the slate clean, have proof, positive evidence, everything you can, because they're going to lie. If the forfeiture is successful, the state may sell the property or use it for law enforcement purposes, or while it's sitting in the pot, somebody in Knox County that's got the credit card to the property seizure thing will be giving it to all his friends in hopes of getting votes for the sheriff. I mean, that's just crooked. But still go through their procedures, and you got to try. Just like I have low confidence in the fact that I might win in federal court, but I have still, I don't say do what I say, not what I do. I ask you to do what I do. Even though I feel like I have little chance of winning in federal court, I'll still file the lawsuit. I still follow the law. I still have hope in the process that maybe there'll be a semblance of justice, and there might be. So file the seizure notice, contest the unlawful seizures. So these officers get benefits from seizing your property. Trooper of the Year. You think my house is good? They won't take my house. They'll take your house and give them an award for taking it. Trooper Charles Melhorn was named Trooper of the Year, Chattanooga District. Trooper Melhorn's initiative on the evening of March 21st, 2010 led to arrest and seizure of house and 2 cars. So he's Trooper of the Year because he took somebody's house and 2 cars. Receipts. They get benefited. Yay, you're a great trooper. You took somebody's house and 2 cars. Now, I know what they say. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. That it was involved in drug trafficking or whatever. You're talking to people that get the house. And they're saying, I get the house because you used it wrongly. They're not getting the house to give it to the poor and needy, the sick and afflicted, little children. They're getting the house saying, you used it for drug trafficking, and I get it. You see a little bias in that? I mean, that's, and the trooper that took it for them gets an award for it. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Trooper Charles Melhorn was named Trooper of the Year. Melhorn's initiative on the evening of March led to 2 arrests, a seizure of a house, and 2 cars. Charles, Trooper of the Year. So, the 8-year veteran of the Highway Patrol made a traffic stop on Interstate 75 in Gibbon County where he found a small amount of marijuana. Trooper of the Year, Chattanooga District. A house and 2 cars. Small amount of marijuana. Trooper of the Year. Wow. So yeah, I mean, I smell something a little fishy here. So they're awarding these people. Wow, highfalutin Trooper of the Year. Proud of that. Got a plaque on the wall. Somebody's house gone. Small amount of marijuana. I mean, connect the dots. It's not funny when you lose a house. I know I'm making light of it. It's not funny. You're talking about somebody going without a house and car over a little bit of drugs found. And then they conducted an investigation. And they look into it and they blow it all to hell. It's big. It's a whole big deal of drugs all over the world. And so they get your house and car. It goes to them. So, and then, look at this. Here's another one. Here's another one. They're getting awards. Good for taking somebody's stuff, the public stuff. Woo! Great. Great job. You're a great trooper. Got their house for me. It goes to them. It's horrific. It's government theft. People in power stealing all day, every day. Here's another one right here. It happens all the time. They praise them. You took their house. Woo! You're great. That's not right to take somebody's house. The government doesn't even need them. They got houses. But Trooper of the Year, that's just one. Let's look at another one. Let's look at this. Trooper Loftus. Trooper Michael Loftus nabbed the interdiction East Tennessee Trooper of the Year. Trooper of the Year. Look at that. Trooper Michael Loftus. Look at this. So, $19,000 in U.S. currency. Trooper Loftus has garnered a high number of traffic stops. So, Cookville Interdiction Plus team, he seized $19,000 in U.S. currency. Made a lot of traffic stops. So he got $19,000 for the government to pay for more officers, to take more of your stuff, to lie on you a lot of times. Now, I'm not saying that he lied about that particular case. I'm saying he got a lot of money. I don't trust the court system. I'm not saying he lied about anything. He got a lot of money over a small amount of drugs. And, this is a matter of public interest, public concern. They got so much pressure over all this stuff. They're getting all these awards for taking your money. This one Loftus, this one Melhorn, Sevierville, $11,000 from an inheritance. That case where they took his car and property, and it was decided based on a procedural errors, not on whether or not the money fit the classification of used in the process of committing a crime. And now, get this, this was then, this is now. You say, what's gotten better now? They made the laws better. No. They made them worse. They made them worse. They added to the forfeiture seizures, and Tennessee's the worst one in the United States of America. Do you trust these people? They added to the list of crimes, other crimes that they allege in the first place, that they can take your house and property for more than just drug crimes. They've added to the list of crimes that they allege you commit to include other crimes, extending it beyond drug crimes. So they can take your property if they want to. Trooper Jeffrey Fuller was named Trooper of the Year, West Tennessee. Seized currency of $25,000. You get money for us? I mean, it's just funny how they put that together. You get money for us? That's like a corporation of business. It's worse than that because they got the power of the government. They write the rules and the judge adjudicates. It appears legitimate. It's not legitimate for them to take citizens' money. It's not legitimate at all. It's public theft. It's a criminal conspiracy. It's wrong as hell. It's dirty. It's nasty. It rapes people of their livelihood, their living, and everything they got at a pen and a piece of paper. And then you have to prove that you're in the right after they've already took it when they had no damn reason. Trooper of the Year. These are 3 people. So that's 4 seizures suspect that I've already told you about. Here's another Trooper of the Year. Trooper of the Year. Jeffrey Fuller was named. Interdiction West Trooper of the Year. $25,000. Seized currency of $25,000. Wow, look at that. $25,000 that troop took. So you got Trooper Jeffrey Fuller, and I'm just telling you, they're getting awards. They're getting awards, commendations for taking citizens' money, property. Does that sound right? I mean, you just thought, well, that don't sound real good. They're taking citizens' property, even if it were justified. Say it is justified. It was used for the process of selling marijuana all across the state. A lot of people got high. And the money that they got paid for the marijuana, that a lot of people got high, that's horrific. A lot of people smoking dope getting high at their house and stuff. I mean, that's not good. That's not right. And I'm not promoting marijuana. But does that sound right that they took $25,000, even if it's drug money, and they're getting an award for taking people's property? I mean, where's the lives saved in that? An award ought to be, and you ought to have your sign up on the naming a bridge when you go overseas and die in a war fighting for this country. Not because you're a pawn for the government taking citizens' money. And that's what they're promoting, and that's what they're advertising. Hey, this is good. You got a job. We're giving you all 5s because you're taking people's money. That's not saving any lives, I don't believe. That's crooked as hell. Call it out for what it is. So we'll underline this in red. 25,000 seized currency. I'm going to underline this. So here we got 19,000 seized. Here we got, and we'll underline this so you can see it very clearly. So we got seized a house, 2 cars for a small amount of marijuana. Wow. And then that lady, $11,000. I won't even include that in here. So here's what we got. And they're getting, woo, great job, troopers. No lives saved. No little children saved. No legitimate drunk drivers taken off the road to protect them. But for money. For mammon. The root of all evil, isn't it? And the governor said, we're going to get in office. That's what he said. And we're going to uncover injustice wherever we find it. That's such a dirty lie, you dirty governor. I would hate to be you. I don't know his heart. He may be a Christian. But I would hate to be him standing before God. Because I could see him. I'm the governor of the state of Tennessee. I was real popular. I was a real good liar. I walked into church campaigning. And I straightened things out. They don't have to pay $350 to argue to get their money back. They shouldn't have been stolen in the first place. God, I'm the governor. I'm a popular man. I promised to uncover injustice, although I made more. That's what he did. Look at this. It's got this underline. Here we go. March 20, 2000. A seizure of house and 2 cars. After found a small amount of marijuana. Trooper of the year. So he got a house and 2 cars, small marijuana. So they make him Trooper of the Year. Cause he got a house. Boy, he hit the pay dirt, didn't he? Hey, Colonel, look what I got for you. Yeah. Does that sound right? I mean, something about that just don't, it smells bad, don't it? It don't even pass the smell test. Let's stop that. Trooper, named Trooper of the Year. We'll even mark that out. Where's it now? Trooper of the Year honor. We'll even name that. Trooper interdiction plus, let's see. Trooper of the Year. So let me let you see this. Just written out. Just plain black and white receipts. I'm not just pulling stuff. And I'm telling the whole story. Now there's another part in between there. There is in between there that they tell of why that they did what they did. But the fact remains, they're Trooper of the Year, they took citizens' money. Fact remains, a lot of them, not just 1 or 2, a lot of them. And they're all Trooper of the Year. You think the state is saying, if you take people's money, I'll give you Trooper of the Year. Promotions and everything goes with it. Just get their money. Come on now, you can do it. But, Colonel, the judges, we got the judges, don't worry. But that judge ruled that their money, we'll reclassify them, get a good judge that'll rule in our favor. I mean, that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Drive down the road, ignore all this, until you find yourself on death row. The rich get richer and the poor get prison. The rich get richer off your money that's seized while they're in power taking it. And that's a fact. And they'll take everything you got. License, job, everything. If they want it, stand up against them, find what happens. They'll try to beat you down. Well, good luck with that. I ain't going anywhere. I'm here for the duration. Like, share, and subscribe if you like the truth being told to you. And help me keep this going so that we can fight them legitimately. Public pressure. They think they changed the law with $350. You wait till I get people in power legitimately that will fight for the public. We'll overturn a lot of this crooked stuff and put them in jail. They need to go to jail and they need their houses taken. Why don't we make a law when a judge takes property and it's determined later it's illegitimate that we take his house, that we put him in jail? What about that? Maybe it'd stop him, a little deterrence. That's what they say it's about. It's about deterrence. Let's write some laws to deter them from wrongfully taking free citizens' property. That sounds right, doesn't it? Name me Trooper of the Year or Citizen of the Year for taking a judge's house. That's what I need to do. Hello. Name me Citizen of the Year for taking their property for deterrence against them. How about that? That'd be real good. I mean, that's what they're doing. So let's look at this. Trooper Fuller's name, Interdiction West Trooper of the Year. Trooper of the Year. Why? Did he save a little kid's life? Seized currency of $25,000. Wow. So it's about him seizing. So let's look at this. So we have here Loftus, Trooper of the Year, 19,000 currency. Trooper of the Year, 19,000. So they're awarding him for stealing money. Melhorn, Trooper of the Year, seizure, a house and 2 cars, small amount of marijuana. Trooper of the Year. Let's see. So yeah, they're giving them awards. They're giving them awards. Like, share, and comment. Subscribe. The algorithm won't spread a live channel. This is live. It's not pre-recorded. And I've worked on this for hours and getting the truth out. Unbridled, truthful news, receipts. But subscribe to the channel, share it, because it helps me get this message out, helps you get the message out to fight the government, justifiably. A lot of this stuff is about messaging, getting the message out, ringing the bell, letting people know what the hell's going on. They're getting Trooper of the Year, I just showed you, for stealing your money. Not all the time this was theft. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. That's just 4 cases right there. There's more than that. I told you about the lady in Sevierville. Crooked, Joe Bartlett, knowing that the money was inheritance money, she had proof, still pursued that case. That's one. This is just a few cases I've uncovered. Jeffrey Fuller, $25,000. Now, I don't know if it's justified or not, but they gave him Trooper of the Year for taking money. Should you get Trooper of the Year for taking money for them? That's 2. Trooper Michael Loftus, Trooper of the Year. $19,000 cash. That's the reason why they're giving him Trooper of the Year, because he took $19,000 cash off a citizen. Didn't save a life or anything. That's 3. Charles Melhorn. A house? You at your house right now? Knock on the door. Hello. I'm Trooper. I'm not going to use this name. Trooper Charles so-and-so. This is 4. Here's this piece of paper. Get out. You say, wait a minute now, don't I get a hearing? Yes, you do, but the house is ours for now. You got to come to court. If you miss a court date, it's ours, even though it's not used in the commission of crime. And even though we've added more crimes to us being able to take your house, because we want your property and we're writing laws to take your property. And they smile while they're telling you that. And that's just, and that's a legitimate legal process that we've set up. So, 2 houses, a seizure of a house and 2 cars, small amount of marijuana. That's 4. And there's more, a lot more. They're giving them awards for taking your stuff. Wow, amazing. And you look down here. These people are getting high honors. Trooper of the Year means you're a model trooper because you've taken citizens' money and property and houses. That's not to mention they take your job through licensing requirements. So they're taking everything you got. A citizen, free country. It's not free. It's not. It's free to them to take what you got. It's free theft of everything. That's true. Unbridled news, the truth. We need to fight this, not with violence, with public knowledge. Hit the subscribe button. Let people know I'm ringing the bell, telling the truth. Unbridled news. This isn't a joke. This isn't fun. This is real. This is to protect you from their criminal behavior in the houses. So they have this right here. This is important. Listen to this. They're giving these people high honors, Trooper of the Year. Now, I lowered the fatality rate for years. I didn't take people's money. I didn't steal people's cars. I didn't take houses. I went out on the road. This is a fact. And now I'm out in public trying to defend you, trying to protect you, trying to protect your livelihood, trying to protect you, your families, your inheritance, trying to protect you from road courts. They won't let me practice law in there. I'll come out on the court and speak out, come out on the sidewalk and speak out for you in public. Almost 3 million people have viewed this. This is a truthful message getting out. And I have an education. I know what I'm talking about. And just like you, I've seen this stuff. You can take your education, throw it in the river if it don't match up with what you actually see. So y'all as smart as me, a complete idiot would have to put his hand in the sand to avoid seeing all this stuff. I'm just pointing it out to you, getting the records and saying, hey, look at this stuff. Is this what you want? This is your government. You don't have to put up with this stuff. I'm not putting up with it, I'm fighting it. Not through violence, through legitimate, legal means, fighting them in court, fighting them in the public opinion. Now, I know what they say about me, it's all lies. What I did when I was on the road is I got people that were drunk, dangerous, bouncing off telephone poles, smashing up their cars, kept on going down the road. Already had wrecks, going down the road with flat tires in their whole side of their car after they already wrecked it, still trying to drive a wrecked car. Pulled these people over for their own safety the best I could, got them out of a car to protect them, and protected other people, just like right now I'm protecting you. I'm telling you, I'm laying down the business, laying down the law. I wasn't out taking people's property. I didn't get Trooper of the Year, never got Trooper of the Year, because I'm taking money. I was saving lives. They lied about me, took me off the road. The fatality rate skyrocketed. These people that took money, some of them may be promoted. You take money, you get promoted, you save people's lives, and they have a little mention of you in the small print at the bottom of the honorable, great, woo, Trooper of the Year. Wow, Trooper of the Year. They're great people. They took money. They're even telling you they're Trooper of the Year because they took money and houses off citizens. Whether or not it's legitimate or not, it's another thing. And then they just mention, I never got Trooper of the Year, they mention in passing that Trooper Charles Morgan, not Trooper of the Year, I didn't steal money, I didn't take money. Mention in passing, I'm going to show you this, that I got a lot of people that were killing themselves and others out of their cars, made legitimate driving arrests. Look at this now. Trooper Charles Morgan, Knoxville District, 117 arrests. Top 10 troopers honored for DUI enforcement. So he was named Trooper of the Year, Trooper of the Year, Trooper of the Year, Trooper of the Year, money, house, cars, money, taking money, Trooper of the Year for money. But I was Trooper of the Year, DUI enforcement, just mentioned 117, number one in drunk driving arrests. That's getting dangerous people off the road. But they don't give you Trooper of the Year for that. So had I stole money, houses, cars, money, then I'd be Trooper of the Year. Save people's lives, and you get the name on the list. Charles Knoxville District, 117 arrests for DUI enforcement. So they consider that of low importance. We'll mention that in passing. But these people that steal money, Trooper of the Year, wow, that's amazing, ain't it? Amazing for them. They get your house, they get your car, they get everything that's yours, and you get nothing. You get nothing but a government that continues to lie and mistreat you. So, here's some things that we can do to stop them from stealing our stuff. They have conviction first, then forfeiture. We need to vote for conviction first and then forfeiture. They have forfeiture first and then conviction. We need to get conviction first, then forfeiture. We need to end profit. Make it neutral. The government don't get this money. Goes to a charity. Goes to little children, feeding little children. Goes to unwed mothers so they don't have abortions. Raise proof and raise the deadlines. The burden of proof shouldn't be flipping the coin, and we need to have honest judges. Transparency or it's corruption. We need to make this more transparent and not have people like me have to explain it. If you win, they pay. So if you win, they pay for your court cost. They pay for your court costs even if you don't win, because they're trying to take your property. So here's some personal steps. Don't carry large cash without, these are just my recommendations. Don't carry large cash without documentation and hide it. Keep receipts, bank withdrawal slips, use cashier's checks when possible. Record interactions where legal. When they pull you over, record it. Immediately request the inventory receipt for seized property. Get hearing deadlines in writing. And ban equitable sharing in runs. Stop local agencies from routing seizure through federal adoption to bypass state courts. What they do is they let the federal government seize it to bypass state laws, and then they get it back from the federal government. We need to end that. Don't carry large cash without keep receipts, and if the state can file and prove it case quickly, 36 days property must be returned. Delay is how people lose. So make them do it real quickly. Make them have a seizure hearing right there that very day, or as soon as you can get the evidence. Make it be on your time frame. They're the ones taking your property. Make it be on your time frame. Guaranteed free shifting. If the citizen wins, the government pays attorneys' fees and costs. I think that if the citizen don't win, they still need to pay your fees and costs. Mandatory transparency, public search reporting, what was seized, when, where. Demand conviction first. Raise the proof standard in the profit incentive. And 51% proof is a coin flip. And you must prove it's yours first. The process is the punishment, and low standard, high cost to citizens. So the system is rigged up. Even if it's technically legal, it's a government overstep when they condemn property for one stated purpose and deliver a different project. That's how public trust dies. Another way they take your property, if this all wasn't bad enough, it gets worse. It's worse than that. It goes downhill from here. They can take your property without even a crime. Eminent domain. They do all the time. I can take you to a road not very far from here where they took people's front yards for a road, a lane of traffic. Justified. Helps the economy. Milk gets to stores through a lane of traffic. Took people's front yard. They don't have a choice. The government says we need your front yard for a lane of traffic. Took people's front yard on both sides of the road. Do it all over the state. And they just send you a notice and pay you what they claim is fair value. Take your front yard or your property for transportation purposes. It's legal, eminent domain. And then a few months down the road, they turn it into a bicycle lane. So bait and switch. They do that all the time, and it's crooked as hell. These people into this green energy stuff will do whatever they need to do to trick people. So corruption is a tougher word legally unless you get proof of fraud. Self-dealing, kickbacks, but overreach, bait and switch is a solid argument if the purpose changed. So they take your property by eminent domain. The licensing, where they limit competition so that they can get all the money. They have a haircutting business, and they're on the board to license people to cut hair. So they limit the number of people that they license after you've already paid them for an education, in order that they limit competition. Happens all the time. North Carolina State Board of Dental Examiners was a case where the federal courts have agreed to take those cases. So that's a change for the good. So if they don't license you, you can sue in federal court now. It is North Carolina State Board of Dental Examiners versus Federal Trade Commission, where people on a dental board denied law licenses to people who were educated to keep competition down. They were dentists, and people come in to try to get dentist license, and they would deny them license because they didn't want competition. They had a business set up to do dentistry. They were on the board to give other businesses license. They denied them license so that everybody had to come to them. That's what the Board of Law Examiners does. They cut down competition. The lawyers, for the most part, that denied my law license are practicing attorneys. So if they give me my law license, I could set up an office right next door to them. People come into me. Hey, we like Van. He's a fighter. He will honestly go in court appropriately and defend our rights and obey the rules of the court. And we like him, and we want him to be a lawyer. But the other lawyer is an officer of the court, and he'll back up the court. His mama's a former judge, his daddy's a former judge, and they're in the court system. And so they will defend the court before they'll defend their client, even though that's the highest duty in law. So they want me, but they won't let them license me. So you have to go to them, and you don't get good representation. Eminent domain is supposed to be for true public use. Tennessee even tightened the definition. Public use does not include parks and recreation except for real transportation projects like roads and bridges. So if government condemns your land saying traffic lane later turns it into a recreational greenway, that's not just annoying, that's a trust violation and possibly a legal problem depending on what the condemnation papers actually promise. There's a road right in my neighborhood where it used to be a road. They put barriers up for the road, and now it's part of a greenway. They do that all the time. Let's fight them in court. It is corruption or a safe act. Even if it's technically legal, it's government overstep. They condemn property for one stated purpose and deliver the project. That's how trust dies. So they are taking your property through forfeiture seizure without even criminal charges. They're taking your property, added to the list of criminal charges, so they have expanded forfeiture for seizure for criminal violations to include more criminal violations so that they can take your property. And they give people in the government awards for taking your money, not for saving your life. And they are on licensing boards, people in the government, that deny licensing. And I've given you several cases, rewind the video, to deny license, to keep down competition, and feed their families that don't work with licenses from money that you paid them. And they take your property through eminent domain. They take everything you got all the time if they have a whim and they want to take it. That's not right. And it needs to be stopped. So the way we can stop this is through voting. And they steal, and they bully, and they file frivolous complaints to take your money. That's what Joe Bartlett did, Tennessee Department of Safety. In my case, taking my job away, and in that lady's case in Sevierville, taking your job away. They steal, they're frivolous, and they bully. And a licensed attorney wrote that in a brief, trying to get somebody's inheritance money back. Do you want it to go that far? It shouldn't have to. What we need to do is subscribe to this channel, help me get this message out, to warn people of the depth of the problem of the government stealing your hard-earned money. Through all those means, by getting honest people in office that will fight for your rights, that will end this horrific theft in every avenue that they can do it, to steal your money, the root of all evil. And the way we can do it is vote. The first thing, spread this message. Spread this channel, Unbridled News, Charles Van Morgan. We'll show up on the scene of a lot of news incidences. Present the truth, unbiased. Where the rubber meets the road. What you really need to know, not their government lies and their propaganda. And also, hit the subscribe button to help spread this message. Live video, we need you to subscribe so that you'll see the next live. Share it, and also vote. Voters of truth and rage. Let's get enraged about this stuff. Hopefully I've got you enraged. They don't need a reason to take your property. They make them up. They make the laws designed in all those ways to take it. Your hard-earned money. is in danger. So let's, voters of Truth and Rights, let's get together, show up at the polls, and get the message out to vote honestly, fight them in court, and we'll have other information in this unbridled news about how you can protect yourself, how I can help protect the public, just like I was when I was in the government protecting the public, and that's why the government got rid of me. I won't protect them and their dirty lies. So, help me help you. Spread the message. Contribute if you can. Thank you so very much for your time. Overwhelming viewership today. Let's look at the beautiful view. We'll have another show for you tomorrow. We'll have another show for you tomorrow. Vote. Pray. One of the most important, valuable, powerful things you can do is pray. Ask God to help us. Get together and vote. It's almost more important that you vote than who you vote for. Who you vote for is more important, but secondary is just to vote. Even if you vote for the wrong person, at least you're voting, because you're showing these people in power that we're out here, we're listening, and we care. So thank y'all very much. I'll let you see the great, beautiful view. We'll be back on here tomorrow. We'll show up at the scene if there's a news incident we can get to spread the truth. Like, share, comment, subscribe, support the channel if you at all can. This show is sponsored by none other than Safe Taxi, Knoxville, Tennessee. That's my business, so I'm going to sponsor my own business. Charles Van Morgan, Safe Taxi in Knoxville. If you need a ride, then type in Google Safe Taxi in Knoxville, call the number, and we'll get you there safely in a luxury car that is environmentally safe. And thank y'all so very much. This show is sponsored by Safe Taxi, Charles Van Morgan. We appreciate it. So we'll show you the beautiful view. And thank y'all very much. I've enjoyed giving you the truth. So hopefully you'll run with it. The last thing I always say, and we'll show you the beautiful view, is God loves you, and I do too. Good morning, Beard Father.